Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to FPL of the day. I am Jay London, and we have got a lot to go through in this video. It's all about the ultimate wildcard guide for game week 28 and beyond. We're going to go through some of the best players, the template team, the alternatives. I'm even going to do some analysis at the end of the video, so get yourself comfortable. It's going to be a bit of a long one. Even if you're not using your wildcard or not in game week 28, this is definitely going to help. Before we begin, as always, I need to thank you for all the subscribers. Yes, we are on the way to 500. If you are new to the channel and you're just discovering this content, first of all, welcome. And second of all, please do hit that subscribe button. I need all the help that I can get. This still is a new YouTube channel. Give it a little like and let's dive straight in. So much to go through. The ultimate game week 28 wildcard guide. Boof. So as I say, I know a lot of people are going to be using their wildcard in game week 28 and beyond. Big up to everybody who's got involved. Shout out to Gareth who got in touch on the FPL of the day Twitter page. And just big up to everyone who's just been getting involved in the last week or so. If that is one of you, then thank you. But yeah, game week 28, 29, a lot of people are going to be focusing on that. Everybody's team is obviously different. It goes without saying. So I cannot answer everyone's dilemma in one video about a wildcard. So this is going to be targeted at people who are going to be using a wildcard in 28 and 29. But if you're not, it's still going to help with transfers and all of that stuff as well, right? It is also worth saying, little disclaimer, I'm recording this before the end of game week 27. So if there are any like injuries, postponements, COVID, things like that, you know what to do. Use your own common sense and don't put them in your wildcard draft, right? Before we begin, as always, we need to have a look at the fixtures. There's no point in even thinking about using your wildcard or making a wildcard draft without having a look at the fixtures first and foremost, right? So here they are. There are, of course, loads of content creators that create these graphics. Yeah, you've got Ben Krellin, loads of people, FPL updates and tips and things like that. But for me, Lego Mane, it's the easiest on the eye, so I like to use this one. So looking at the fixtures here, I will point your attention first to the game week 28 fixture for Chelsea, which is Burnley and Arsenal. That hasn't been confirmed yet at the time of recording. So if that is confirmed, you might need to alter some of the players that I'm talking about because, spoiler alert, I'm not going to include any Chelsea players yet. So we're going to leave Chelsea out of it for now because there are a lot of teams to focus on, like Aston Villa. Arsenal have got a double, so have Leeds, so have Liverpool. We need to talk about Southampton, Broia, players like that. Maybe we want St. Maximin for Newcastle. No spoilers yet. Just keep watching and we're going to reveal the ultimate draft for game week 28. So have a look at this. Obviously soak it in, get familiar with it, and also make sure you're checking out my boy Joe Linton on Twitter as well. Yeah, he pointed out that a lot of these teams are going to be leaking a lot of goals. So he highlighted teams like Leeds, Leicester, Watford, all of the people that we're expecting to be conceding quite a lot of goals. So that's also something that you need to consider when looking at your wildcard draft. Some of the fixtures that we're going to be targeting are going to be these boys here as well. So get familiar with that, soak this in, and now let's start picking some players. Yes! So those of you that do follow FPL of the day know that when we do these drafts, we like to just put in some bench boys, some enablers and things like that to make sure that we have enough money to spread around the team and get the best starting 11. Spoiler alert, there are no enablers in this team. 15 players that are going to be playing football that can absolutely smash it in our wildcard drafts. Also, if you're not following, please do that. Hit the subscribe button down below. Let's start with our keepers, all right? Normally, I don't like to have two playing keepers, but it looks something like this. Sar's in goal and so is Ramsdale, strictly because of those double game week fixtures that we have coming up for Wolves in game week 28, yeah, Crystal Palace and Watford, and then Arsenal are going to be doubling straight after that with Leicester and Liverpool. So I'm not expecting Arsenal to be keeping a clean sheet against Liverpool, but there are some save points to be won there, and obviously it's better to have a double game week playing keeper than none. So yeah, normally I wouldn't pick two because I'd want to be spreading my money around and maybe upgrading the midfield and things like that. But if I'm making a wild card, this is a great opportunity to set myself up for like future game weeks, bench boost and all of that stuff. I'm happy for one of those keepers to sit on the bench until I'm ready to activate my bench boost, so it looks something like that. Sar and Ramsdale, 100% nailed. They're not going anywhere. Moving on to the defense, it looks something like this. Kilman's in there, so's Luka Dean, so is Robinson, Alexander-Arnold obviously keeps his place, and we've got Livramento. Still a little bit of a worry for Livramento. I'm not sure how many games he's going to be starting, so make sure you're keeping an eye on that. But if he is playing, he's a nice person to have in the team. And as you'll see at the end, he might not even have to play anyway. But yeah, for 4.3, he's in the team. We've got the nice little Liverpool double up there. Very excited about that. Since I brought Robinson into my own team, before free hitting or anything like that, he's been absolutely amazing. He's been a godsend. So I'm hoping he can keep that up with the assists and the clean sheets. Obviously, Liverpool have got that double game week in 29. So if your third player is like a Jota or a Diaz or a Mane, then that's fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I'm going for Robinson, and I prefer him alongside Alexander-Arnold. Plus, it gives you a little bit of an advantage because, as you know, everyone's got Trent. So it's nice to be getting some clean sheet points when you do get a clean sheet from Liverpool. You know what I mean? Luka Dean's in there as well. He hasn't really delivered as much as people thought he was going to deliver yet. But for 5.1 and another double game week player, he has to be in the wildcard draft. So does Kilman. Again, for that reason, double game week, doubling up with Sarr. I like the Wolves defence, even though they haven't been the greatest of the last couple of game weeks. But Kilman's in there for 4.6, nailed on, guaranteed to play. Kilman stays in there. Looking at that back lineup, I'm happy. Big at the back is not dead yet. We've got Robinson, Alexander-Arnold, as I say, Luka Dean, Kilman and Livramento to fill in if we want to play 4 or 5 at the back, okay? So that's the defence sorted. Let's have a look at the midfield, which is going to look something like this. Boom. The triple up on the Arsenal has to continue. They've got that nice double game week in game week 29. As we say, we love to attack those. So Saka and Martinelli are both in there. There are some options where you can switch some of those around. I will come to that in a minute. Salah, I do not need to talk about. What a hero. Still not over the fact that he managed to just absolutely smash it in game week 26 with that triple captain. And a lot of people that didn't use their triple captain in 26 will be using it in 29. So yeah, if you don't have Salah in your team, 100% you're going to drop rank. You can clip that, you can repost it on Twitter, you can do what you want with it. Salah needs to be in your team, and he's going to need to be the captain for game week 29 as well. No more said. Son's in there, again, because of that double game week for Spurs, which I really, really do like. And Son is a player that I just want in my team anyway. Everton is a nice fixture. We know how bad Everton have been in recent weeks. And then the double coming up as well. So this wildcard draft is looking nice. James completes the midfield. And that's not because I've got anything against Rafinha, even though he has been trolling me for the whole season and I've been talking about him. Again, if you're a friend of the channel, then you know that this guy's been trolling me since the start of the season. But we're not going to go there. Ran over. But for 6 mil, it just makes sense to play James because you're saving that 0.5, which allows us to do what we're doing with the team here. And I'm not that confident with Leeds anyway. So it will be nice to have a player in there, but not to invest too much cash. And then, yeah, going forward, James is a person who we can swap out or put on the bench, like you'll see in a bit when we start tinkering with the team. They have got that double game week against Leicester and Aston Villa. Norwich is a nice fixture after that as well. And yeah, it looks like pretty much everything with Leeds at the moment is coming from Rafinha or through James, and he's playing as a striker still at the moment. So yeah, for 6 mil, I like him in the team. That could easily be somebody else though if you want to switch it around. Big up to Scotty. I wasn't going to go throughout the video, yeah, without mentioning James Ward-Prowse. You can actually get him in there if you didn't want Dan James and you wanted to switch a few things around. I don't know, maybe Martinelli goes down to a Ramsey, who's also got a double game week. There's nothing wrong with that. You could have Ramsey in your team. But for me, this is looking like the strongest midfield if I was going into a wildcard for game week 28. I'm going to have a look at the forwards. But before I do and before I reveal them, I want to do something a little bit different. So those of you that know me and follow FPL today know that I'm very much a man all about the eye test. I prefer that over stats and facts and figures and all of that. But I know that not everybody plays the game that way. So I want to make sure that this channel is providing you with all the information that you need to help you with your team and your season. So we're going to try something a little bit different here. Big shout out to Casual Fantasy Footballer, which is at Casual Fantasy PL. Give him a little follow on Twitter. He reached out to me and provided us with basically what we need to be picking the best strikers for our wildcard draft. So I'm going to have a look at 3 players here that I feel could potentially be best for your wildcard. Starting with this guy here, we want to be having a look out for the pink, which is the player assisted shots. Yellow is going to be player shots, and the green cross is what we all want to see, is the goals, all right? How many goals a player scored in the previous 6 game weeks. So having a look at the shot map, you can see there's quite a lot of yellow there. So Alan St. Maximan is getting in the box and he's taking quite a lot of shots. Like, look at all of those yellow spots. Also the shots that he's assisting as well, because we know how much of a threat he is. The more colours that we're seeing on this shot map, the more interested and the more vital this person's going to be for our team, right? Quite a few green crosses there as well. Those bonus points are what could be the difference in both of those doubles, providing that Alan Saint-Maximin is fit. I do like the look of all the shots that he's taking. Like, there's so many yellow dots on this screen here. So he's definitely a person that we want in our wildcard draft, providing he is fit. Next person we're going to look at is Broja. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be having this guy in their team, whether they've wildcarded or not, and it goes for a very good reason. Again, looking at those yellow shots, yeah, he's all over the place. He's in the box. Like, how many shots has he had outside of it? 2? He scored 1 goal, which was like ridiculous, like 30 yards or whatever we're going to call that. He's been scoring a few games in the season. He's greedy. He's not passing the ball or assisted much. And yeah, there's a lot of chances there that he's taking, which means that he's going to be a threat for our wildcard team. So again, Broja is going to be another player that we want in our teams, because look at those spots. That is exactly what we want to see. We want to be seeing players that are in the box, taking shots, yellow dots everywhere, big ones, making the keeper work and making sure that those chances of scoring a goal are increased. And the last person that we're going to look at is Raul Jimenez. Now, this is definitely a big contrast to the Broja one, because if you look at Broja ones, you can see how greedy he was, how much action was going around. But this guy's shot map is so colourful because he is so involved in the team. There's yellow spots everywhere. Throughout the whole season, he's been performing and he's been doing that, creating chances, taking shots. He's scored a couple of goals of late. He's also been assisting a lot of goals as well, or basically passing the ball and not being as greedy as someone like Broja. And these are the kind of players that we like. These are the kind of players that we want in our FPL team. Guys that are going to be making the keeper work, that are going to be increasing the chances of bonus points and basically be scoring goals. He might not be finishing every single chance, but the likelihood of him scoring a goal looks a lot more higher than some of the other players that we could be talking about because of this shot map right here. So there we go. Let's get all 3 of them in the team. Saint-Maximin, Broja and Jimenez. Obviously, there are options here. There are things that you can do. If Saint-Maximin isn't fit, you can swap him out for a Chris Wood if you want to keep that Newcastle player. Watkins, you can also go there. Or you could double up with Wolves and actually put in someone like Hwang. Who knows? But looking at this, I like it. I like what it looks like here. And let me show you why I like it so much. Let's have a look at this tool here, which is FPL.team. If you don't know about this tool yet, you need to get it in your life. It allows you to look ahead at all the game weeks, put your team in, and then basically just have a look as far as you want, make transfers without it affecting your actual team in real FPL life, okay? It's basically the ultimate tool. I'll put a link down in the description. You'll thank me later if you haven't used it already. Sarr would be there. So would Ramsey, so would James, Broja, Jimenez, Saint-Maximin, assuming he's fit. There's so many double game week players there that the only problem that I have with this wildcard draft is the benching headache. Like, who do you bench? Saka's on the bench. We're not really going to want to bench Saka, but he might have to be benched because Son's not going anywhere, nor is Salah, right? So yeah, this is looking really, really nice for game week 28. If we have a look ahead even further at game week 29... all that happens is Sarr comes out, Ramsdale goes in, and then we've got our defenders in Robinson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. We can then easily take out James and put in Martinelli, or take out Ramsey and put in Martinelli, which might even be even better, depending on how much money you've got left in the bank, because obviously everybody's team value is different. But again, looking at game week 29, look at the bench. Look at who we've got on the bench. Like, that is a perfect benching headache, and even an opportunity to bench boost there if you really, really want to in game week 29. You've got the Arsenal triple up, you've got the Liverpool triple up. Happy days. Game week 30 is obviously going to be a little bit more difficult, but we can navigate that and have a look and make sure you're keeping up to date with who's going through and making sure that you're working out like what kind of players might be missing for game week 30, because we're still not 100% sure. But if you've got a free hit in your back pocket and you've saved it, then you're laughing. This is the perfect time to use it. If not, we might be having to use some transfers along the way to make sure that we have 11 playing players for game week 30. But that's the strategy that I'm going for. Just depends on what you want to do with your team. But having a look back at the team, this is now the ultimate wildcard draft. If you disagree, then let me know down in the comments below. But after looking at game week 28 and 29, I don't know how you can disagree with that. Like, it's set up perfectly for the next 2 game weeks and beyond. Again, looking at the fixtures, they're nice, green all around. Yeah. Obviously, there are things that you can do. If you want to attack it a little bit differently and you want to play a little bit more aggressive, then fair enough. You can do something like this. Downgrade your keeper so you have an enabler. Robinson comes out to Tsimikas. You get people like Foden in there, a Manchester City asset. Harry Kane goes up front to join Broja and Hwang instead of Jimenez, which is still a nice attacking threat for Wolves. You still got that double game week player there. It just depends on how you want to attack it. Are you going to go for game week 28 and 29, or do you just want to go gung-ho and do it week by week and have your stars like Kane and Son and Salah and your free premiums and Trent Alexander-Arnold? This is also exciting, right? So there we go. There we have it. That is the ultimate wildcard guide for game week 28 and beyond. I told you it was going to be a long one, but you made it to the end. I wanted to make sure that you was equipped with everything that you need going into this wildcard draft. If you are new to the channel and you have made it here, please do subscribe. If you're not new to the channel and you have made it here and you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe and let me know what you're doing down in the comments below. Leave a little like and also let me know what you thought about the player shop map, because that is a new feature and maybe something that we do again going ahead into the future in future videos and future game weeks. Make sure you're checking out Casual Fantasy PL down in the description below. Give him a little follow on Twitter as well, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, good luck.